For this next part, we'll have to step out from under the shade for just a minute or two. Let's stand in front of the confectionery and take a look at the buildings on Main Street. How many stories tall do they look from this angle? Depending on the building, the windows tell us that these structures are either 2 stories or 3 stories tall. While they might look to be 3 stories, they're actually closer to 2. The windows, bricks, balconies, and other details are all part of a facade, an illusion to make the buildings look taller than they really are. In reality, the ground level facades are the closest to a full story tall, the second level is a bit shorter, and the third level is the shortest. Most adults would barely be able to fit inside if the third story were accessible to guests. It's an old movie trick that Disney and other studios continue to use to this very day, which makes buildings and other structures appear larger than they really are. Looking at the outside of Cinderella Castle, does the structure look at all like the castle from the 1950 film? While it draws some similarities, it isn't directly inspired by the film, which is the reason why Disney calls it Cinderella Castle instead of Cinderella's Castle, indicating that it isn't her castle, but rather inspired by it. In reality, this structure is inspired by 8 castles from across Europe, most of which can be found in France. The blended inspiration makes the castle seem somewhat familiar, and yet it stands on its own iconic design.